Hello, welcome. Short video to talk about the latest product in the Orosoma range, which is the Rose Pink Pomander. Rose Pink Pomander was born on the 14th of October, 2023. I'm very excited because it really fits in well with my way of seeing the unfolding sequence. I actually had a prediction about what the next equilibrium bottle would be. Not the colors. I don't know what the colors would be, but I thought the name would be Zeus. Now, the reason for that is Zeus is the father of the sky, and the previous two bottles have been Poseidon and Plouton. Now, Plouton is almost synonymous with Hades, who is one of the three brothers, along with Poseidon and Zeus. So that Zeus, Poseidon, and Plouton, Hades are three brothers ruling the three worlds. And so it seemed to me, after having Plouton 121 and Poseidon 122, the next bottle would naturally be Zeus. But we don't have a bottle, we have a Pomander. And yet, the Pomander, I think, is at least in the same place as where I would have put Zeus into the Tree of Life. So that's the equilibrium sequence. You'll be familiar with that. But if I come around here now, this is the Tree of Life symbol. It's far away, but you can maybe see that there are bottles on these lines, which we call paths, and in these circles, which we call spheres. And it was a connection made maybe 10, 12 years after Orosoma was born or created, brought into being by Vicky Wall, that the connection was made between the equilibrium sequence, the equilibrium bottles, and tarot cards, or the Tree of Life through tarot cards, because tarot cards also have a place in the tree, which is why you can see these cards next to some of the bottles. Now, that sequence of equilibrium through the cards to the Tree of Life connection was very automatic until bottle 99. Up until bottle 99, what you had was simply the equilibrium as a sequence, tarot cards run in a sequence, and you simply matched tarot card with equilibrium bottle. And where the tarot card went, there too also went the equilibrium bottle. And that first began with the paths up to bottle 22, and then it went into the circles, beginning with bottle 23, and that continued to 78, which is up here, 23 is in the middle. That finished with 78, and then we went back to the paths one more time through to bottle 99. At 99, that automatic connection stopped. Since then, I've been connecting all the later equilibrium bottles with places in the tree, and I was doing that primarily through the archangels and the archangel sequence, because archangels are also part of the Tree of Life. Orosoma separately also started doing that. I've been doing exploring the archangels course, so that's really how it happened for me. At a certain point, maybe 2006, 7, 8, I'm not sure when, Orosoma similarly, with Mike Booth, of course, started putting archangels in. So you can see here, very small is 100, which is Metatron, and that's the first of the bottles after 99. And that goes into Kether. And then if you look closely, 102, interestingly, is on a path here, the path of the tower. 103, I think, I'm not sure where it is in this picture here. But I came to my own view, and sometimes it differs from your Orosoma view, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And that what I found was that actually that sequence actually continued beyond the archangels, which finished with 115, and with 116 Queen Mab, 117 Pan, 118 Echo, those are the names of those bottles. I found that I could continue the process of placing bottles into the tree, and that came to a very complete picture at 118, which is also the completion of like 3 courses I taught, one after the other, through 2020. The journey of the soul through life. So that was really exciting. At the end of that, 119 Ceres was born. That's the orange deep magenta, followed by Persephone, her daughter, 120 clear over orange. And it was totally clear for me that where those should go to was in Malkuth down here. the Earth Mother Ceres and her daughter, who is the renewal every year of the life on the Earth. So it made sense that 119, 120 were here. And then Plouton, the new bottle, 121, lime over orange, lime green over orange. Well, Plouton is the third party in the Mysteries of Eleusis. Eleusis was this great mystery school, this mystery school experience for the citizens of Athens and ancient Greece. And Plouton was the rite was Ceres, Persephone, and Plouton. So it made sense to put Plouton here as well. Plouton isn't exactly Hades, the god of the underworld, but close enough, close enough in my opinion. All three of those go here. And then Poseidon was born. Now, Poseidon is the god of the waters, but when I read about the esoteric dimension of the Greek myths, then Poseidon is also the waters, but also up to the moon. Now, in the tree of life, because you may wonder, this is the sphere of the earth. So that's why I'm putting Ceres, Persephone, and Plouton here. This is the moon, and moon governs the waters, the sea, the tides, the movement of the tides with the water. That's Poseidon. All the way up to the energy of the moon. That's the kind of the swirl of the collective consciousness in which we live. Poseidon, the rule of the seas, but the rule of the emotions. You know, at this time in the world, we are living in extraordinary times, and success, we are absolutely, as humanity, undergoing a kind of an assault with one thing after another. First, the fear about the pandemic, the war in Eastern Europe, now the troubles in the Middle East, not to mention the financial pressures and the inflation, and people are we're being extremely scared. This is not our truth. We're spiritual beings who've come into a material world, but we're being energized. And that's this whole thing about Poseidon. That's the world in which we live. And this world in which we live, this swirl of it, this collective kind of sea of consciousness in which we live, the human dimension, is receiving great, great pressure at the moment to make us afraid, to kind of limit what we can be as souls on the earth. Now, the next step, and the last of the three brothers, is Zeus. And this is why I was expecting Zeus to be the next bottle. Plouton, because they're brothers. Plouton to Poseidon, Poseidon, I'm expecting Zeus. Zeus, and I would have placed the bottle here in Tifereth. I still may. But this is the exciting thing, because what we have now is the rose pink pomander. Now, there's only one rose pink in Orosoma. It's in the top of bottle 23. Bottle 23, which corresponds in the tarot to the king of wands. It's the first of the tarot cards, the first of the bottles that goes into a circle. It's really significant because it begins something new in the Orosoma equilibrium tree of life connection, the first of the spheres. And what you see is that the king of wands, I'm going to just looking for, we don't have it anymore, I was going to stick it here. It would go here in the sphere of Tifereth, because the bottle is in the sphere of Tifereth. So it's perfect. It's perfect for Zeus. But then there's a lot more. I only came to this idea because of a series of other pictures, which I want to show you now, which is the other half of the picture. Okay, so big picture, rose pink pomander. It fits in with what I was expecting to happen next with the equilibrium sequence. The energy of Zeus in the sphere of Tifereth. This is the sun astrologically, this is the moon astrologically, and that's the earth. Plouton and the earth, the underworld, Poseidon and the moon, the waters, and the human condition, and then Zeus, the god of the sky, above all of this, and transmitting from the spiritual down into the picture. Now, let me show you the pictures which kind of brought me to this aha. So I'm going to have to share my screen for a second. We'll go here. Okay, right. Let's close that. Okay, so now this picture just happens to be my photo stream from the 9th of September. It just stood out because it's a pink rose. It's not, it never triggered any thought for me. It's only when I went to get the pictures that I saw this. But let's go on to the next one. Well, do you know, I love this picture and I found it about 2.5 weeks ago. I love it so much, I'm going to make it my screensaver. But what you see here is the sun in the sky and the poppies in the field. And it's a green field, okay? Now, remember what I said about Ceres and Persephone? Well, Ceres, the goddess Ceres, is one of her symbols is the poppy. It's the wheat field or the field of wheat, grain, plus poppies. That's the symbolism of Ceres. So this is a poppy field, a poppies in a field, but it's green, makes us think of Persephone perhaps. So we've got the idea of Ceres and Persephone with the poppies in the green field. Ceres and Persephone, remember where that's where my thinking about the placement of these latest equilibrium bottles in the Tree of Life began. And I have to say, I mean, what's really significant about that as well is that all the previous placements of bottles into the Tree of Life over here began from the top and came down the tree, always from the top, working their way down. It's only with Ceres and Persephone that something has begun to grow up. Now we're going up from Malkuth, which is the kingdom, Ceres, Persephone, Plouton, to Yesod, which is the next sphere up, and that's Poseidon. And now we're going to the next sphere up in that middle line, Tifereth, in the middle of the tree. And Tifereth is the sun, and here's the sun in the picture. So this is a very Ceres, Persephone, and the sun, which I would say is Jupiter, or Zeus. Let's say Zeus. Zeus. So this is a Zeus from Ceres, Persephone to Zeus picture. And I love this. I found it 2 weeks ago. So that was the next picture in the sequence, but I still didn't know the rose pink pomander was coming. And it's only later I look back, I can see this. Let's look at the next one. Now, this picture I found just a couple of days ago. It was on one of my friends on Facebook, Mickey Horie, Japanese lady. She found this picture. She put it on her Facebook thread, and I liked it. So I put it onto my own as well. Still didn't know about the rose pink pomander, but absolutely love this picture. Let me go to the next one because it kind of then I need to come back to this one. This is the next one. Do you know something very interesting? So this is a red phone box. It's the old style phone box. It's in front of my house. I live in this house behind here. We had an old phone box here. It's been taken away, and I didn't realize, but this phone box has arrived. It's a new phone box. It doesn't work as a phone anymore because they don't have phone boxes now in England. Everyone has a mobile phone. But for the sake of history or beauty in the village, or we're putting this phone box is being placed right in front of my house. Do you know when the bottle Ceres was born, it's going back a few years now, on this same road, on the morning that Ceres was born, the whole road was being broken up and a new surface was being put on the road. That was Ceres, and I put Ceres on the earth, remember? And now we have a phone box appearing on the same road, just about coinciding with the birth of the rose pink pomander. So 2 great synchronicities there. But more than that, what I thought about was a phrase from Vicky Wall. Vicky Wall, founder of Orosoma, she used to use, one of her phrases she used to like to talk about, mention, was hotline to heaven. Like a hotline is like a phone connection that's always open. So the hotline to heaven was like the communication to above. That's what Vicky meant by the hotline to heaven. Now I see this phone box, so bright, so shiny, so red, so new. And then when I think about the previous picture, because I put this on my Facebook page, and the previous post was this, something in heaven. And who's in heaven? Zeus, the god of the sky. So this is, to me, is like, this is Zeus, representing Zeus. And the next picture is what's going to receive that communication on earth. But this is where it comes from. And it's like a representation of the energy of the sky. So I think this is totally beautiful, not to mention that you've got all these rainbow colors in here, so fitting for Orosoma. So I think this is really amazing. And let me tell you something else as well. I don't have a picture for the next one. That's something and that's something. It's almost ready now. This phone box will be, by tomorrow morning, the phone box will be finished. Here it's still in process. Today they've put it in and they're just waiting for it to dry. And when the concrete is dry, then it'll be finished. That's tomorrow. So let me tell you something else let me go back to me now for a second. Let me stop share. Okay, so those were the pictures. The other important thing to think about with the new Pomander, rose pink Pomander. So it was born 3 days ago. That's just the bottle, it's not the Pomander. 3 days ago, 14th of October, the Pomander was born. Now that's a special day in Orosoma. It's a special day because it was the day that the first course ever taught at Orosoma Devora here in Thetford was presented. So it's day one of the first ever course at Devora. Devora is the teaching centre of Orosoma. It's the house that was bought by Vicky and Margaret to bring Orosoma to this village, the village I later moved to and worked at Orosoma for a while. So on the 14th of October, 36 years ago, was the day when the pulse from above, the inspiration from above, was beginning to be transmitted out through Devora, just like that picture in the sky of the rainbow, the sun and the rainbow in the sky, and the telephone box on the earth. It's like the hotline to heaven. The teaching room at Devora is like the hotline to heaven. 14th of October, the day the new Pomander was born, 36 years ago. There's another connection because 36 is this bottle in Orosoma. It's violet pink. Violet pink is the ace of wands. 23 is the king of wands. So this is the bottle. This is the image that goes with the color of the only bottle with rose pink in, bottle 23. It's the king of wands. But the other end of that king of wands journey is the ace of wands, number 36. The king of wands is here and the ace of wands is here. So 36 years ago, on the 14th of October, was when the first kind of pulse from inspiration from above was spread out from Devora. And now 36 years later, the rose pink Pomander is born. And out, in my world, that picture on the Facebook stream, the red telephone box appearing outside my house, I live in Thetford, I live next to Orosoma, is like a kind of a renewal of that connection, you see. So it's really exciting and it fits with what I was expecting. I was expecting the next bottle in the sequence to correspond to Zeus and to be in the sphere of Tifereth. Instead, what I've got is a Pomander, not a bottle, but it does go in the sphere where Zeus would be, through the only bottle with the rose pink in it. It's the rose pink Pomander. That's the only bottle with rose pink in, and it goes here, bottle 23. And you can think, and there's a little kind of confirmation of that too. If I go back to share screen now, and I go to here, share this, and we go on to the next picture, you see here, this is from the Orosoma Facebook page. And it says that we're extremely excited to unveil a transformative new member of the Orosoma family, the rose pink Pomander. Okay, but look here. This is don't you think this is a surprising thing? There's some kind of why have you got that 6 horizontal bars? Well, of course, if you looked at that as a hexagram, you'd say that's yang yang. This is the most yang of all the hexagrams in the I Ching. 6 unbroken lines. I can't show you, but I found a card. Someone made me a card with the yang yang. And I found it a couple of days ago because I was going through my old papers. I don't think I kept it. I'd love to show it to you today. I can't show it to you today, but it's yang yang. And the thing that taught me the most about rose pink, let me go back to, so I just wanted to show you those yang yang. That's a strange thing to have there, I think. It could have been a bullet point or something, but they put the yang yang symbol. Very surprising, I think. But that fits exactly with how I think about rose pink. And it also fits with how you could think about Devora transmitting something to the world. Devora is designed to be something which receives from above and sends out into the world. The Aura teaching is grounded through Devora, opened 36 years before the rose pink pomander was born. The rose pink pomander connecting to here. So Devora is grounding the impulse from above, Zeus, the sky, impulse coming down and then being sent out into the world. It's a yang-yang energy. And that's what I wrote about in my article on the blog. My website's not up at the moment, but how I understood rose pink. Rose pink is an active, outgoing love energy. We think of love and pale pink as unconditional love as something very receptive. But the rose pink is different because it's outgoing love. It's not, it's actively outgoing. It's not just making a space for people to feel, to relax and, creating a yin space for people to be themselves in. It's a yang outward going energy. So it's I think, very interesting that those yang yang, those two trigrams making the hexagram yang yang, were used in that Horus Homer announcement. It totally fits with how I understand, because it's just like the sun. The sun is yang yang. The sun is always giving out energy. The sun's always giving out. See? So I see rose pink, this rose pink pomander, as a very active, outgoing, loving energy. In another video, I can talk a bit about, I've been following another teacher recently, and he's been talking about, the way he was talking about something particularly to do with what's going on at the moment with the Middle East, but it's about life in general. I can really connect with the pink or the rose pink, maybe, but the pink certainly. I'll have to do a separate video on it. It's too big for this. Let me know if you're interested in that, and that will help me to do that. And there was one more thing. Oh, and what's also so exciting is that tomorrow I'm starting a course, Rainbow Warrior course. It's the second of those 3 courses I mentioned, which went through the Archangel sequence. The first was Gateway to Life, Conception to Birth, and now we're at the point of birth and living your life until you reorient yourself to spirit again. So we're starting that tomorrow, which is the 18th of October. It's all synchronized with the Mayan calendar, the moon calendar, and that starts tomorrow. So that telephone box outside will be completed on the day that I begin teaching this Rainbow Warrior course online. It's 8 weeks, and we go through 8 archangels in 8 weeks. That was part of my learning process about where to put all these subsequent archangel bottles into the tree after bottle 99. Okay, I finished. If you've enjoyed this, it really, really, really is helpful for me if you put a like, if you like this. And also, if you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe to my channel, because then you'll be informed when I do further further videos rather. So please do that. I'll appreciate that. And I hope to see you on another time or on a course sometime. I do online courses, numerology, tree of life, and including color. So until next time, thank you and best wishes.